Let's go over Star Wars when it comes to the future of the franchise after Star Wars Episode 9. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, after Episode 9, we have a handful of projects currently in the works. We have the live-action TV series called Star Wars The Mandalorian by Jon Favreau. We have the Clone Wars Season 7, very excited for that. And we also have the new Star Wars Trilogy being created by the creators over at Game of Thrones. So a lot of things are really coming into play for the Star Wars franchise. We still have no word on what's happening with 2020, on whether or not we will even be getting a film that year. So that's one big question for sure that everybody's asking themselves right now. But as far as the new trilogy, the D&D trilogy as I like to call it, or the fourth Star Wars trilogy, looking at everything here, we do know that David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are actually going to be working on this in next year, alright, in the early part of next year of 2019. Now, what's really interesting, though, is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this new trilogy, even though it's in the very early works. They haven't even started a script yet, really. But here's what's really interesting. Now, apparently revolutionary technology will be used for the new trilogy, as well as new techniques of use for CGI for developers to get the work done faster in an efficient way. This trilogy will apparently require multiple motion capture actors as well. There is a rumor aside from all of this that this trilogy is like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. Now that last part right there, Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, alright? This matches directly up with what Emilia Clarke had to say. By the way, she comes from Game of Thrones, and she actually was Kira in Solo: A Star Wars Story. And she explained what she thinks this new trilogy is going to be like. And she said it's basically going to be Star Wars on acid. So I can really see how combining both Lord of the Rings and Star Wars could kind of equal out to what Emilia said there. And the fact that, you know, David and, you know, D.B. Weiss are on board for this, I'm honestly very excited. I'm a whole lot more excited about this, you know, these set of new Star Wars movies over the Rian Johnson trilogy by far, I gotta say. I really hope that somebody else at least maybe takes over Rian Johnson's trilogy, or at the least maybe somebody else joins Rian and writes with him and kind of oversees his work. Get a, I guess you could say, legendary writer working with Rian Johnson and do something like that. But looking and focusing on this new trilogy, Disney and Lucasfilm are treating this as their priority. And the fact that they are using revolutionary tech, this is something to look forward to. Now, we do know that for Episode 9, Colin Trevorrow originally wanted to take it to the next level and actually film in space. So I don't know if that's actually going to happen with Episode 9 anymore, but that was, of course, Colin Trevorrow's plan for Episode 9, was to actually shoot sequences in space. Can you believe that? Very cool stuff. But looking at this new trilogy, revolutionary technology will be used, as well as new techniques of use for CGI for developers that will get the work done faster in a more efficient way. Now, this means that post-production won't be as long for this trilogy, which is great news. This means that we could get these 3 movies out there faster, and we could get new teasers and/or trailers faster as well coming out. And now, as far as multiple motion capture actors, alright, also referred to as mocap actors or actresses, there's going to be multiple ones of, you know, there's going to be multiple actors that actually are very much experienced in that art form in this new trilogy. What I would love to see, and this may be reaching, I would love to see Andy Serkis on board for this new Star Wars trilogy. Would they do this? Would it cause any confusion between him and his new character or Supreme Leader Snoke? I don't think so. I think that they should definitely grab Andy Serkis and bring him onto this new trilogy. Not only do people love his acting style from Star Wars and Planet of the Apes and Lord of the Rings, I mean, this guy has a great resume. So I think it's pretty much mandatory for him. I think they should definitely lay it on him and say, you gotta come into Star Wars. You gotta do this. And I'm sure he'll just sign right up for it ASAP. I think he wouldn't even have a problem. So looking at this new trilogy, guys, I cannot wait to see what they have in store. I am very excited. A lot of people here are thinking that it's going to be the Old Republic. The fact that it's being described or planned as Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, to me, it sounds like it's going to be very much like a medieval movie, which kind of adds up with the Old Republic. You know, we heard the same exact thing with Solo: A Star Wars Story in a way, of how it was like a mixture of Fast and Furious, Star Wars, and Mad Max. And it was. It turned out to be like that. Very much so, right? And a Western, of course. But looking at everything, guys, I cannot wait. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.